Food resets are often based in healthism and diet culture. So think lemon water, juice cleanses, smoothies, eating clean. I haven't tried all of these different experiments with food, but I have tried a few, and the through line is that they're all based in restriction and shoulds, both inner and outer. The external shoulds being perhaps advice that we've read, research or articles that we've come across, maybe advice from family or friends, other people in your life. All of this external advice that you may be taking in and perhaps internalizing, and that compounds with the inner shoulds, the internally derived shoulds that I'm sure we all have. Just sharing my own personal experience, I have shoulds around eating healthier, about cutting out processed snacks like chips and cookies, drinking more water. I am no stranger to judging myself and my own choices when it comes to food. These are all surface level experiments, and we're trying to fix ourselves at a surface level. We don't really get into the heart of our relationship with food. And that is what I'll be doing this month. I'll be doing a different kind of reset, an Authenblissity reset. This is where I spend an entire month reconnecting with my inner compass in 12 areas of life. The idea is that this practice will not only give me clarity about this one area of my life, because I'll be focusing in on it for the next 30 days, but also the act of making small decisions and checking in with myself regularly on this topic will help me build confidence to making bigger decisions and bigger choices in more nuanced areas of life. I'm going to start with the area of food because it is my favorite topic. I think it's the area where I've done the most experiments throughout my life. I really enjoy food. I take a lot of pleasure in food, and I do a lot of experiments as a result. In this video, I'm going to talk about what you can expect if you join me in this food reset. I'm going to be starting on November 1st, and the food reset will run for approximately a month, although I might finish earlier just so I can get a recap video out before the end of the month. If you're watching this video later though, you can start at any time. These resets are really designed to be flexible, and you can do them at your own pace. I want to talk about what makes this reset different. This food reset is not about getting healthy, dieting, or weight loss. You may have these goals. I understand a lot of people have these goals. If you have these goals, you can still do this reset. This reset though goes deeper. It looks into questions like, what are my beliefs about food? Where did these beliefs even come from? And how do these beliefs shape my thoughts, emotions, and behaviors? So maybe you know you have a desire to start eating healthier. It's a bit of a vague goal, but I think a lot of us have something like this in the back of our minds, but you don't really know how to go about it or why you even believe in this goal in the first place, whether it's right for you, and why, despite trying to achieve this goal over and over again, it's still something that is in the horizon. You haven't quite gotten there yet. I use this example because it's an example that is very close to my heart. I have always had this lofty goal of getting healthy and not really understanding what that meant or why I had this goal in the first place. But once we get clarity on these beliefs that we have around food, we can decide how we want food to show up in our lives, what advice we want to try, and what advice we are ready to discard. I've done 2 Authenblissity resets, and I've gone through the food chapter twice along with the other chapters, and the food chapter has really helped me to gain clarity on what I even mean when I say I want to get healthy. Healthy to me no longer just means physically healthy, so food to physically nourish my body. I also think about things like emotional health and mental health. Both times that I did the food reset, I learned something different about myself, and I had actionable things that I wanted to implement in my own life. And diving deep and doing a food reset down to the belief level really helped me to gain confidence in my decisions, and I feel very at peace now with my relationship with food. That doesn't mean that there aren't things I want to try. I still love reading about food, learning about new research and such, but now I have a better sense of this advice might work for me, I'm going to give that a try, and this advice doesn't really align with my own beliefs and values. So I think I'm going to table that for now, and if I get curious about it later, I can always come back to it, but it's not for me right now. Because we're all different people with different experiences and different beliefs, different values, and different influences around us, we will each get something different from this food reset, and that is totally okay. There is no right answer here. There's only what is right for yourself. All of the exercises and prompts for this food reset, as well as the 11 other resets that I'll be doing in different areas of my life, are all contained in my book, Authenblissity Reset. The subtitle is Self-Reflection Exercises to Reconnect with Your Joyful Inner Compass. If you don't have the book already, I will leave the link down below. I offer various price points depending on whether you want a physical copy, the PDF version, or another ebook version like Kindle or Kobo. If you can't afford the book at this time, but you still want to participate, I offer a pay what you can option for the PDF version. And if you decide to join me in the food reset, I would be so excited to hear how you use the book and what you get from the book in terms of realizations about your own life and things that you want to try. I am endlessly curious about that, and that was one of my favorite things about receiving beta reader feedback, was seeing how each beta reader used the book differently and got something different out of the book. There were some similarities, but also lots of differences, and I love that. I want to talk a little bit about what you can expect as you move through this chapter. The chapter is broken up into 5 sections. In the Arrive section, I share a personal story, and then there are 3 exercises that follow. If you're not interested in the personal story, you can skip the personal story. You can also skip the exercise that follows, which is reaction, and you can jump right into word cloud. The exercise pendulum rounds out this section, and the Arrive section really is intended to help you ease into the topic of food, get you thinking about food, and also thinking about how food shows up in your life. I find it to be a really light and fun section. There are 2 exercises in the next section, which is observe. The first exercise is called journal, and it involves observing yourself for a week. There are different ways that you can do this self-observation exercise, and I myself have done different things for different resets. The questions that I suggest for this exercise are more rooted in enjoyment of food, listening to what you want to eat, what your appetite is like, and also feeling sensations of satiation. That is what I recommend observing for this section, is just to tune in to those types of things rather than the food logs or food journals that we're used to in diet culture, which has you logging every single thing you eat. You can do that if you like, and I have done that in the past because that is how my brain works. I really love documenting things like that. But really the intention here is to tune in to how you feel about food in your body, your mind, and in your emotions. So that is more important in this exercise than logging every single detail about what you consume. After a week of self-observation, there is a patterns exercise, which has a few sentence stems, and you can jot down any patterns that you noticed in your observations throughout the week. The explore section is a lot of fun. What makes it fun is that you're presented with 10 different exercises, all within the topic of food, and you get to choose 2 or 3 of them to complete. I am someone who likes to do as much as I can, and for the first 2 resets, because I was testing out the exercises, I did do all of the exercises. This is the first time I'm going to be choosing 2 or 3 exercises to complete out of the 10. For all of you overachievers out there, I am one myself. I think it might be tricky to only choose 2 or 3, but try your best to do that, because the act of choosing the exercises actually is a part of self-reflection itself. Choosing the exercise, doing the exercise, seeing how you feel about it, and then choosing 1 or 2 more, and then stopping and see how you feel about stopping the exercises, not doing any more. And if you want to do more, you can. If you want to do fewer, you also can. There is a lot of flexibility here, and at each decision point, you can check in with yourself and see how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and that will provide you with a lot of good information, interesting information about yourself. The next section is connect. This is where we will question our beliefs so we can either be more confident in them or we can gently release them. All of my beta readers recognize this as the most difficult section of each chapter. If you're ready to go deep, then I would recommend doing all of the exercises in order. There are 5 of them in this section. But if you're not ready to do that yet, that's okay too. You can read the exercises and see how much you want to do, stopping if you don't want to continue. It's totally fine. This book is for you to tune into yourself. So that means listening to yourself and trusting in your own decisions. Once we've moved through the connect section, we'll be at our last section, which is reflect. There are 3 exercises in this section, and they're intended to really look back at what you've done over the past month or so, or however long you spent on the exercises in the first 4 sections of the chapter. And you can go ahead and jot down some notes on how your thinking has changed. If there was something that really came up for you over and over again, I found that going through these sections really brings up one key thing that I want to work on over the next little while, and it could be a small thing. So for example, the second time I did the food reset, I realized that I was rushing through lunch. Because I was in a rush to get back to work, I would have lunch in about 5 to 10 minutes, and I really wasn't even appreciating the food that I had in front of me. I just wanted to finish eating so I could get back to what I was doing, and that didn't sit well with me. I am someone who doesn't do a lot in terms of food, in terms of growing it myself. I have it really easy with food because I just go to the grocery store, I pick out what I want, I bring it home, and I do cook the food or prepare the food, but I really wanted to have more of an intentional relationship with food, more of an appreciation for the work that goes into getting the food to the grocery store and then into my hands. And I really wanted to be grateful for the food and enjoy the food. So out of my second food reset, I decided I would take a minimum of 30 minutes for lunch. And of course, I don't spend all of that time eating, but I do carve out that time to slowly get the food ready. I might tidy up a little bit before I sit down to eat. I just stay away from the computer is basically what I'm trying to do for 30 minutes over lunchtime. And that does mean I tend to eat a little bit more slowly, and I enjoy my food a bit more because I know I have half an hour and I'm not rushing back. So that was a really simple thing that I implemented after my second food reset that had a significant impact on my enjoyment of food and my overall mental and emotional health as well, because I feel really good after taking a half hour for myself in the middle of the day. It's not much, but it makes a difference. I want to leave you with one reminder about this book, and that is that there is no right answer in this book. I don't offer research or advice or anything like that in this book. It's a way to practice listening to yourself and tuning into your inner compass so you can start filtering through all of that external information. We are inundated with it now. So many different sources of information, advice, shoulds. And this book is really designed to help you recenter yourself without all of that external noise. So that means that if you read something in this book and you don't agree, that is okay. If you read something in this book and you don't want to do it, that's okay. That is all part of tuning into your inner compass. I am going to try to do the same thing despite my perfectionism and my overachiever qualities. If there's an exercise that I don't want to do, or I want to do it just a little bit, or maybe I want to change something about it, I'm going to listen to myself and I'm going to do that. Thank you all so much for watching this video. For those of you who are interested in joining me, I am so excited to be on this journey with you. I will be back very soon. Until then, please take care. And bye for now.